It was like a regular Thursday. I knew that there were some cuts coming. Did not expect it would be me because I was a manager. They called me into their office one Thursday and they sat me down and they just said, hey, this isn't easy to tell you, but today's your last day. And just like that, they just cut me.
So I was always an introvert and shy, really struggled in social situations. So I started drinking as a teenager. I started when I was about 14 to ease into social situations better.
I felt defeated. What do you mean today's my last day? Like, am I getting paid? Like, there's a lot of uncertainty, like a little bit of shame as a man.
I would black out and not remember what had happened that night. Had to piece together my evening from text messages and voicemails and credit card charges, just really not remembering what happened. And so that's obviously scary. I
had dealt with this before. It's government contracting. It happens all the time. This time when it happened, like there's something in my head that just like clicked or shifted. And maybe it was because of where I was spiritually in my walk with God, where I had confidence enough to know like, hey, I know there's a plan. I know something's going to happen. I didn't know when it was going to happen. I didn't know at what moment it would happen. I just knew it was going to happen.
The last straw, I'd say, was New Year's Eve of 2015 going into 2016. I planned to just go to a movie with a friend, and then on the way home, we couldn't help ourselves. We were going to stop at the bar for just one drink. It was not a good situation. I woke up the next morning really, really, really in a bad situation, and so I decided that that was it. I was putting myself in danger, others driving drunk. And so it was the last straw.
The social media thing, like I'm going to be vulnerable, I'm going to be raw, and I'm just going to say, hey, lost my job today. It's a really bad situation. I know God's going to come through. I don't know when, but he's going to come through. You know, we had been telling people about God, preaching the gospel on my own. And I always said, well, do we really believe that God is who we've been telling everyone who he is? Even with me like believing that God's going to come through, I obviously still had my doubts. I still wasn't sure when it was going to happen. I know you're going to come through, but I'm going to help as much as I can as well. And I just started putting my resume out there.
January 1st and 2nd of 2016, when I had very first gotten sober, I spent the couple days laying around my house trying to recover, and I kept feeling this urge to listen to podcasts from a nearby church. And so I downloaded the app and was listening to, recent sermons, and I was really liking what I was hearing. And so that Sunday the 3rd, I actually went to the church, and at the end of the service, the pastor did, I think it's called an altar call, which I think is really, really important to do, because it gives people the opportunity to say out loud that they realize that they've been on the wrong path. They are ready to hand over their lives to Jesus. And so that is what I did that day. And as I said those words aloud, I felt this rush of relief come through my body. And it was like Jesus just took it all from me.
Whenever I got the phone call, and I had been waiting. And honestly, this gap was not even a big gap. It was like 2 weeks. But I remember Katie and I were out, and we had dropped the kids off at school, and we went for a bike ride. And we're just riding our bike, and my phone rings, and I pull over. I'm like, I don't know this phone number. I remember the moment, just being so thankful and so just proud, and just the first thing I did was just thank God, that he was able to come through. And the funniest thing, the lady was like, when can you start? I was like, Monday? I had a dream, and in this dream, I was meeting with this guy, and he was telling me about my work schedule. And I was like, no, you don't understand. I got fired. And this guy tells me, he goes, hey, no, I got you a job. He's like, you're going to be upstairs. And my old job was on the 3rd floor. This new job I got was on the 4th floor. In this dream, the people that fired me were walking by me like it was nothing. And the building I work at, I see them almost every day now.
From that point forward, I found it pretty easy to not drink. And it wasn't that it was easy, it was that I had Jesus on my side, and I changed my lifestyle completely. I started going to Wednesday evening services, so I would go on Sunday and then again on Wednesday, really tapping in to Jesus and all the messages that I was able to receive, surrounding myself with the right types of people.
My brother, my family members, they went through the same thing last month, and my brother talked about this very testimony as an encouragement to him. And he was like, man, I remember how you handled your situation last year. He was like, I was able to use that like and drive me forward.
Honestly, when I share my story with people, it's crazy how a lot of people have either similar stories themselves or they know someone who has a similar story. People have messaged me and gotten sober themselves because of what I've shared.
The quote from Billy Graham, mountains are for views and inspirations, but in the valleys and the dark places is where growth happens. That's the time we need to draw close to God, not draw away from him. God's timing is completely different than our timing. So you just have to trust, you just have to lean into him.
I think a mission of mine to share my truth as much as possible, to help people overcome it and know that there is relief, and it doesn't matter what you've been through, what you've done, that Jesus always has grace and compassion for you, and you can always start new.